doubled sales in one campaign. My name is Frank Kern, co-founder of ROAS.org. Actually, I don't know why I said co-founder. I'm the only founder. Didn't get a lot of sleep this week. Been working hard. Clients apparently want something in return for their money, and boy, do we ever give it to them. So what I want to do today is I want to use the oldest trick in the book, which is to demonstrate we can help you by actually helping you. If you want me and my team to build you the stuff you're about to see me talk about, go to ROAS.org/talk. It should be somewhere in the description of this video. That is how you spell ROAS. ROAS.org. Our mission is to make your business more money, and we can do it. Okay, let me show you how to double a campaign. Let me give you the backstory. You ready? Let's go to the computer. This is cool. All right, looks like everything's working on the screen here. Incidentally, when you go to our site, you will see, and just take note, what might be the ugliest website in history. Thank you very much. I built this myself. If you click up in her, I think I just broke something. If you click over here and you don't get any availability, keep trying. Looks like we got a few appointments okay for Monday, and then Tuesday's looking all right, but this stuff usually fills up pretty quick. So if there's no availability, keep going. But that's not what you want to see. You want to see how in the heck we doubled sales from one specific campaign. So let me tell you what went wrong and how horrible everything was, and then how we fixed it. More importantly, how we fixed it. So I ran this campaign right here. All right, and so this was a while ago, and the mission was to sell expensive stuff. You know, like this was a webinar, and it was driving to a high-ticket funnel, application funnel, and I had very, very high hopes for it, and it worked okay. All right, so here's the spend on this thing. This is the date range. We were running it. Spent about 20 G's, so it didn't go crazy or whatever, because I thought it didn't work. Here's why. All right, so I'm going to come over here. We're going to use this little tool that I'm crazy about. It's called Segmetrics. And what I'm looking at is notably different than what you're seeing in Facebook. Facebook's going to tell you that we got more leads than we did, probably, assuming I can find where, it doesn't even give me the total, but it's saying like we had a ton, right? What I'm looking at here in Segmetrics is the new ones. So these are people who had never been on our list before. The reason this is important is because when I show people stuff like this, they're like, yeah, but everybody knows you and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, that's right. That is an unfair advantage that is created by doing the very thing that I'm telling you to do. So you're correct. So what you're going to notice in this particular case study is this, all right, which is these guys, these contacts here were created in this date range, meaning they had never been on my list before, and that's important. All right. So essentially, when someone opted in for my little webinar from these ads, all right, so remember, spent 20 G's, they got this tag applied, all right? And so I know I'm getting techie. I'm just doing it so I can show you, like, we take numbers very, very seriously. Kind of hard to show that you can demonstrate someone's return on ad spend if you don't track properly. So that's why I'm getting all techie with you, all right? So anyway, we're going to get to the cool part in a minute, I promise. So, like, this is how I know who they were. You know, they opted in from Facebook. They got this tag in this date range. And the thing that matters here is what they bought, right? So I'm looking to see in this little tool, all right, the purchase was created during this date range. And so I thought this campaign sucked because, look, I spent $19,900 and I got back $19,700. And I'm not really, I don't really like to lose money. You know, like, I don't know, call me crazy. I don't think it's that fun. Don't care for it. I mean, it's easy. Real easy to do money. I like to step up and try to do something a little more challenging, like multiplying capital, you know? So here's what we did to fix it, okay? Let me take you back to ye old screen and just let me show you how we literally doubled sales from this thing. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you the revenue that was created after the campaign was over, all right? So look, what you're seeing now is everyone who, opted in during this date range. They were brand new. They'd never been on my list before, and this is what they bought. Now, check it out. Here's what they done bought after the date range. Now, let's hope this works properly because this is on camera. Cool. All right, so they bought another $20,000 worth of stuff, which more than doubled the sales of the campaign. How did I do it? Big shocker. I did it with email follow-up, but not just any type of email follow-up. And the reason I'm making this for you is because this morning, I've been working on 2 campaigns for 2 different clients. One of them had like very little email follow-up of any kind, so that was really easy. Another one is a new client, and this client is doing email follow-up like pretty much everybody does. And I don't know if you checked the calendar, but we're now in the year 2021, and it is time to stop using email as if it was like 2002 or something. All right. So let me show you like how to actually make email work. If you're on my list, by the way, you're probably like, well, it would appear that you make email work by emailing people 852 million times. So kind of. All right. There's this little thing that I probably didn't invent, but I say I invented it because it sounds cool, and it's called behavioral dynamic response. And basically what it means, all right, is it means a bunch of crap on the whiteboard. I forgot to get rid of this stuff. It means you send people marketing message based on their behaviors, all right? So, like, you've heard the story, right? Actions speak louder than words. Well, because like email is so cool and all email systems are pretty much awesome, we can like tailor make entire email experiences for people based on what they're doing. So if you're on my list and you get a lot of emails from me, it's because you probably click something which indicates that you're behaviorally interested in getting more emails. Let me show you how it works on camera. Okay, so here's what most people do, right? So this is what not to do, by the way, is you get an opt-in, all right? So you got your ad, okay? And then people opt in, so that's what the OP stands for. This is easy. And then they see your, offer, right? So it could be a VSL, webinar, or whatever. And then you send them like, I don't know, let's just say this is like a series of emails for a week. Yes, this is beautiful handwriting. I'm doing this with my mouse. And thanks everybody for the pointers on saying like, hey dude, you can hook your iPad up to this thing and all of that, and you get the pen to draw with. Fact of the matter is I can't see real well, and so I have to do it with my mouse or else I wouldn't be able to see what I was drawing. So thus the absolutely terrible artwork here that you're seeing. But anyway, normal thing is people send, follow-up emails for a week or whatever, and then they are going to put people into the dreaded nurture sequence. I literally, like, my new client documented, like, they sent their standard operating procedures over, and they're like, yeah, on day 17, we put them in a nurture sequence. And I was like, you're about to make a lot of money with us. And here's why, okay? Ain't nobody reading this stuff, all right? So they're either doing that, okay, or they're not even doing this. They like do barely any follow-up of any kind, and they're like, why the heck aren't I making the money that I want to get? So this is what most people do, all right, which is great. It's wonderful for me because I can fix it, and we fix it for people, and they make more money, and they stay our clients forever. If you want me to build this stuff for you, again, go to roaz.org/talk. Should be in the title of this video or something, maybe, hopefully, we'll see. Okay, let's go. So here's like the right way to do it. Okay, I'll give you a couple of examples. What we want to do is understand a couple of things. Number one, human psychology, which is basically most people ain't gonna buy your stuff right away. It doesn't matter. You can have the greatest sales letter ever. David Ogilvy, right back there, he could, and Claude, Claude Hopkins, who's the other guy in the picture, they could both like come back from the grave simultaneously, which would be alarming and unnerving. And they could write your copy for you. And it could be the greatest copy ever. And they could deliver it to you on golden tablets, which you would find buried in the woods. And, you would put it up on a web page, and it would be like unbelievably good copy. And still most people who saw the offer wouldn't buy immediately because that's how people are. It doesn't matter. So while you're obsessing over like changing the headline, making bigger promises, standing on a pyramid of gold-plated Lamborghinis, or whatever it may be that you might think is going to make your offer work better, instead it's going to pay you a lot more dividends, aka make you a lot more sales, if you just understand human psychology, which is most of them ain't going to buy. They put stuff off. And they think they're going to buy it, and then they'll like, oh, I'm going to buy that, but I'm going to buy it later, and then, they never do, which is why I'm out of coffee right now. Because as much as I like Black Rifle Coffee, and as easy it is to go to Amazon and press the buy the coffee and ship it to me button, I put it off until I was out of freaking coffee. So we got to understand that like people have to be reminded to buy your stuff. And we also have to understand that they ain't paying attention, right? So we got to deal with both of those situations in like today's attention world. They're on multiple devices. They got a gazillion things going on. They're highly distracted, and we got to get their attention. So how do you do it, right? Well, you do it with behavioral dynamic response, okay? And when I say I kind of invented this, basically I came up with the name, but surely I'm not the first person to ever think of this concept. So now what we do is somebody opts in, all right? So same thing, they opt in. And let's say they are opting in and you're sending them to, an on-demand class, right? Or a webinar, or VSL, whatever you want to call it. And they don't buy. And we're just very sad. Well, the obvious thing to do here, of course, is to put them in some sort of a deadline sequence, right? And it has to be real. Like don't put them in a fake one. So we want to put them in a real deadline sequence where like something happens if they don't take action. Price increase, a bonus goes away, or whatever, right? So you're doing that, right? You got that. If you're not doing that, do that now. You're welcome. Please send me everything to the right of the decimal point that you get an increased revenue as a result of doing that. But that's going to get you like some sales, okay? So I want to show you a couple of campaign structures that you can plug in that are going to work really, really well, all right? So let's go. The first one, okay, and I think I'll just show this one to you right now because my little bride has come into my office a couple times. She might need me. So she is, and I hate to tell you this, she's just more important. Okay, what am I going to do? I'm not going to lie to you. All right, so I'm just going to show you this one methodology. All right, this is called the dog whistle method. Okay, and I literally just saw this with a client. So let's say you're selling fitness stuff. All right, and like your perfect person is someone who, and quit looking at me. Why are you looking at me? Someone who needs to lose 30 pounds. Don't be judging me. All right, this is muscle. It's just very relaxed muscle that's made mostly out of recycled Coors Light. So let's say that's your person, and that's mainly who's on your list. All right, and let's say you wanted to use this behavioral dynamic kind of stuff. Okay, so that's like what we've established. So you would send an email out to the list, and you can automate this and should, so they've opted in, right? And they saw your pitch, so this is your pitch, and they got your whatever normal follow up. Right, and now we're into behavioral dynamic stuff, right, which is like custom super cool stuff. So very first thing we could do is we could create a sequence here, which I would strongly do. This is called the painfully obvious method, and we would send a series of emails, right, and the objective of these emails, so let's say this would be a 3-day sequence. The objective of this email sequence is to get people to behaviorally identify their interest. Now, remember, actions speak louder than words, right? So if someone does something that indicates they're interested in a result, then they're interested in the result. It doesn't matter what they're telling you. So in this particular case, we could create something super basic, and all of these emails would basically say, open or read this. So I'll just say, open this if you want. What's that, doll?
Is it live?
Yeah, I'm live.
Okay, well, how long?
About 5 minutes. All right. So open this if you want. That was my little bride. If you want to lose 30 pounds. All right. So that was our thing. So that's just like the headline of it. Open this email if you want to lose 30 pounds by, I don't know, the year 2054. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now, the goal of this whole campaign, and this all can be done by automation, is just to track whether or not they actually open it. All right, what it says in the email copy isn't irrelevant. I mean, you want your email copy to be good, but if you're expecting them to open it and immediately give you money, it's delusional. Some people will, but most of them won't. We want to know who on the list is interested in losing that 30 pounds of fat by the year 2057, and we will know they're interested because of the fact we're using dog whistle copy, which is do this if you want result, right? So now everyone who has opened it, so what we're going to do is we're going to look to see, did they open, right? And then did they buy, which most of them won't because that's normal. So if the answer to if they opened is yes, then we put them into another sequence that is specifically a lot more email and a lot more aggressive in trying to get them to do the thing that will help them achieve the desired result. So let's say you have a high ticket program, like me, for example, and I wrote an email to you and said, open this if you're spending money on ads and they're not working. And then the email could basically say whatever, as long as it wasn't insulting. It could say, hey, call me, I can help you, or whatever. And that might, in and of itself, work pretty well. But what really works is I could measure every single person who opened. You use this, it doesn't matter what the email tool is, right? Your email tool thingy will track whoever opens, and then I put them in a sequence of, hey, you know what? Here's how to make your ads work better, call me. And here's how to make, here's how to write better copy, call me. Here's how to diagnose what's going wrong, call me. And of course, because we have an appointment getting funnel, that's our entire funnel. So that type of email follow-up is what caused us to go from, being like, ew, this campaign I spent 19 grand on, and during the actual promotion, I made less than what I spent. Remember this here. It caused us from going like, ew, that totally sucks, to I did that type of follow-up. And what do you know? From this, we're only talking about 945 leads here, So I did that type of follow-up, and what do you know, by gum? It brought in another 20 grand, right? So that's one strategy that you can use to do it, and you should. And if you want, and there's a gazillion ways to do this, by the way. This is like just the lowest hanging fruit possible. It's like super, super obvious, Open this if your dog won't stop barking. So if you're selling dog training stuff, then you would drive them to a sales letter about, how to make your dog stop barking, and their dog is barking because they opened it, and so you'd put them into a follow-up sequence, so sending them a little bit more email specifically on that topic, driving them to an offer. I think you get it. That's one of a billion ways to slice this avocado. I don't even know the metaphor there, but whatever. If you want us to build this stuff for you, we're good at it. We will increase your return on ad spend. We will generate revenue for you, assuming you've got stuff that we can use to do it, assuming you've got raw material. To find out how and if we can help you is totally free. Go to roaz.org/talk. The link is somewhere near this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go see what my little bride wants. Hope you all have a great day. Take it easy.